So happy you are here. I am with Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a James Beard Award nominee. The group includes where we are, the Mothership, Church Key, and downstairs, Birch and Barley. You've got Owen's Ordinary up in North Bethesda, where we had a lovely time a few weeks ago outside. Greg, it is always good to see you.
See you too.
Before we talk about what we're drinking this week, the preeminent beer festival in the nation's capital was this past weekend, Snallygaster. How did it go?
It was amazing. Could not have.
10,000 people. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
10,000. Oh my goodness.
It was a huge turnout, and the weather was just beautiful. We got actually almost too sunny. We're going to get some more coverings next year for sure. But it went off without a hitch. Over 400 beers, 10,000 people. Just really amazing. And of course, we raised a ton of money for Arcadia Center for Sustainable Food and Agriculture, the driver behind the event every year.
That's what I think people don't realize completely. It's like your money and the extra tickets you buy to get a couple extra beers are going to a great cause.
Directly. It's amazing.
And next year, you're thinking mid to late September. It all depends on baseball and things.
It's baseball, but either middle of September or the end of September, one of the two. And we're already getting started planning it, which I can't believe, to be honest. I would like to have a little bit of time to forget.
You're still recovering. Yeah, I know. Well, we'll talk more about that July, August of
For
next
sure.
year. What is on tap this week?
So fittingly, I brought a beer from one of my good friends, Sean Johnson, who owns a brewery called Birds Fly South in Greenville, South Carolina. It's been around for just over a year. And the reason I have it is because he is a great guy who sent us some beer for Snallygaster, and he sent a bunch more bottles as well. So this is a beer he makes called Paper Airplanes. It had its first official release this past summer. Mixed fermentation beer, aged and fermented in oak foeders, the big oak vats, and then dry hopped with Nelson Sauvin, which is one of the greatest hops in the world from New Zealand.
I love the name Paper Airplanes because to me, in my imagination, it harks back to some sort of memory of his, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly, something nostalgic. Lots of lively acidity on the palate here. About 6% alcohol. Definitely tart and refreshing. Juicy, lemony, grapefruit qualities. Almost white wine-like. That Nelson Sauvin note gives you some great Sauvignon Blanc characteristics in the nose, and
I really like that.
Delicious beer. Complex, but also just incredibly refreshing. You know, you could just drink this mindlessly, or you can really focus in on all the aromatic nuance that it has.
Now, only been around for a year. What was his past before that?
He's
and how did you get to know him?
Retired Coast Guard, which brought him all over the country with his wife Lindsay, with whom he owns Birds Fly South, of course. He spent some time in the area here. That's when we first get to know him. And then he's down in Florida, where he did some work with another great friend, Bob Sylvester, at Saint Somewhere Brewing Company. And another purveyor of mixed fermentation beers, Brettanomyces, a little bit of funk. And frankly, Bob's one of the progenitors of this kind of mixed ferm style in America. So he worked there. And then he ended up in South Carolina, where he brewed these beers at another facility, his Birds Fly South brand, for about a year and a half before he opened at a place called Thomas Creek, which is well known in South Carolina. And then he finally was able to spend every cent he'd ever saved in his life on opening this brewery, and they got open in 2016.
Well, you know, as we know, I'm an IPA guy, but I really think he's got something unique there with the balance and the tartness and the citrus quality.
And if you go there, this is the other thing, is that he's most of his production is based on these kind of blended and Solera method, barrel-aged farmhouse kind of funky beers, mixed fermentation beers, but he also is making IPAs. Double IPAs. He's making imperial stouts, which are really delicious as well. So he may be kind of known more for some of the mixed fermentation stuff, but he's really crushing it on all levels.
Well, I'm a big fan of the Coast Guard. I think we all should be, because they do amazing work. But my first job out of college in radio in was I worked with a woman whose husband was the captain or the commander of the Coast Guard cutter in Port Angeles, Washington. So
that's cool.
Yeah, they were lovely people. They actually let me babysit their baby once. She's still alive. She's like 25 or something now. So what would you pair this with?
This is, like I said, kind of Sauvignon Blanc-like, a little bit of minerality, great acidity. It's excellent with seafood, especially in the Mid-Atlantic. Oysters, crabs, and sushi be phenomenal with that wasabi. Tang would be great with this as well. Thai and Vietnamese, anything that enjoys that kind of really nice hit of acid and lemon, I think would be really delicious. And then I was thinking spring vegetables, asparagus, peas, green salads, all would be fantastic.
All right, excellent. Wow, fun to try that. Greg, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another beer of the week.